Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule. That guy over there won a couple of Stanley Cups in his time, 4 to be exact. He is Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. He's on brand. He's on budget. Day number, Sam Flannel, what is it?
23.
23 consecutive days of wearing a flannel en route to 365 consecutive days of wearing a flannel here.
That's a streak, Neal.
That is a streak. It is a streak. There is no question about that. Happy to have you all along with us. You know we got Spencer Raxter in the house as well. Welcome on in. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter. The social media handles are on the screen. And if you're watching on our YouTube channel, jump into that YouTube chat thread as well. Got a big-time show lined up for you as we always do. And you know how we work here. Like, we're going to get into it and everything. Malik Willis had his pro day, and it was the closest thing you'll see to legal pornography, man.
How'd you be? Did they have to carry you out, or did they shove you out in a wheelchair because your legs were so wobbly after
I had to take a couple of
You
moments.
had
to
take a couple moments, deep breaths. Holy cow. No wonder we were out of paper towel in the bathroom today.
We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. The Red Wings got a win yesterday. I had that text loaded. I had it typed out on the phone. The text was typed out and ready to send to DMac. It looked like another collapse was imminent.
Listen, you flipped the button, you're ready. Hand was on the button, but
it was.
It just goes to show you, and I'll elaborate. You might be further along than you think compared to other teams in the league.
Absolutely. It's a Detroit City Wednesday edition of the show as well. In studio here today, we'll have Antoine Hoppenot, who scored the game-winning goal for Detroit City FC on Saturday. Interesting character to talk to. We're going to talk about it all. Princeton-educated, longtime pro, played in the MLS.
I'm just going to tell you, you're going to want to stick around. I've already dubbed this man the Henrik Zetterberg of DCFC. That's how cool this guy is.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. You don't want to miss that discussion. That's coming up in about 10 minutes from now. But you guys know how we work here in the opening segment. We like to talk about some real life stuff. And now I'm getting dragged in on social media about it, and I've had enough already. I let you guys have your discussions about it, and it's cute and it's fun and everything like that. Enough with the Oak Island, guys. Enough.
What are you talking about?
Enough with the Oak Island. DMac,
last night
you're wasting your time.
Wait, we went down the shaft. There's wood coming up. We found like a 12th century.
You talking about Oak Island or Malik Willis's pro day?
Either or. I don't know,
okay.
But it was next week, Neal. Next week. Oh, they got me hooked. They're going to find something.
And
Bobby Dazzler's all around. Gary Drayton.
As it always works, I get tweets from people. I get tagged in these things. I don't want this stuff. I don't need this stuff.
Oh, send it. All of it. We're going to get there, guys. Trust me. Trust me. The Michigan boys from up in Traverse City, the Laginas, they're going to find something.
Yeah, absolutely. But people talking already about Antoine Hoppenot's hair, the mullet discussion is strong. We're going to talk to him about it. We're going to lead with that discussion, too. His hair, his flow, and all that. But what about are there any shows that you guys watch that you're like, why do I watch this? Are you to that point yet with your Oak Island or whatever it's called?
I'm locked in. See, the more you hate on it, the more I'm going to watch it and make sure I know everything.
See, that's your character, though.
Yes.
Like, I know that
so
going in.
So I'm a bad example of
because I'll keep poking the bear.
And then I'll keep and they're going to find it. They're going to find it. I know they were. They're Bobby Dazzlers. I don't think anybody's like that True TV, but there are certain people. Are we going to name names? That watch we're going to compare this to what's going on that doesn't really matter. And I believe that I'm in the right here as to what I watch compared to what other people watch. They waste their time with it for what? So I'm not giving up on it. Might not be your bag of tea, Mr. Rule, but for all of us out there, treasure hunters at heart, from that Reader's Digest episode back 227 years. What's one more week?
Chuck Brewer says, it's been next week with Oak Island since I was a kid. I watch YouTube podcasts pretty much these days. TV is crap. Also, people want to talk about gas station sushi for whatever reason after the show yesterday. But whatever, we'll let that lie.
Really? Because didn't Clomp Sauce's brothers episode
that
where he couldn't even make it out of the store? That didn't just give you the gaslight on
gas station sushi.
Right. The grocery store's fine. The gas station, no bueno.
Yeah. How about you, Spence? You got any shows that you watch that you, when you're done with it, you wonder why do I watch this?
I'll sit there and watch the Auction Hunters. Those shows where they're slinging open the shipping containers full of people's stuff. I'll watch that for an hour and a half, and then just realize that I just wasted an hour and a half of my life that I can never get back.
See, now I'll let you guys in with this here, DMac, and John Hevron, who is the communications guy for Detroit City FC. I worked with him at Oakland for a long time. When you travel, and you probably did this when you used to travel back in the day. During the day between like shooting around and when you leave, you get like a couple hours of downtime where you just kind of sit there and you're just essentially killing time. You get the workout done or whatever and you're just kind of waiting to go. Guardians of the Everglades was one that I watched.
Now,
where
Guardians of the Everglades.
Yeah, so they would like hunt snakes. Like they were hired by the government to hunt snakes because the snake population was so big in the Everglades. So it was like, and this dude would roll out barefoot, have the overalls on and everything, and he was barefoot and he would roll
like
out.
Swamp people?
Yeah, but they hunted snakes.
But...
Yeah, but they hunted snakes.
Okay.
And every episode ended, and I'm like, why? Why did I watch that? And then what did I do on the next road trip? At 1:30, watched it again. And it got to the point where I had to watch it, and I don't know why that is.
So does this mean, is that why when we're not on camera you say bad things about John because he got you hooked on that show? Or what is it? What is have you figured out in your psyche what the enjoyment is? You have some sort of, because you never do it? Like a lot of times, I think some people watch things that there's like, I would never do that, and they see how people who would do it, right? Like I'm not into hunting gators and snakes and all that stuff.
Or like Doomsday Preppers and all those shows. That's just
Doomsday Preppers.
What are these people doing?
Jake Wagoner says, I got that way with Supernatural around season 8 or 9, was still watching just because I liked the characters, but lost all investment in the story that was going on.
How about, here's a question. What about a series, right, that you were into, but then you let it slide off, right? Like at the end. Like, so I was that with Game of Thrones. Watched the first few seasons and then sort of just whatever got away from it. Dexter, right? The original Dexter. We used to watch that was Drapes and our show and whatever, and then got behind on it and had to wait till it was like, I didn't finish that for years. Now on to the new one and stuff like that. But I wonder if there's, because some of the ones like the Breaking Bads and those, they keep you engulfed.
I did watch Breaking
Anarchy, Bad. That keeps you engulfhed.
Sons is great.
I just wonder maybe it's the ones that you bailed out on.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was my lockdown show that we got time now, so everybody talks about this show. Let's watch it, and it was very, very good.
Well, I think
good.
That's a great question, and I think it was brought up about the YouTube, the podcast, the different things. Is that during COVID and during the lockdown and stuff like this, that's where people really found a new niche.
Yeah.
I mean, mine is deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? Went into this hole of wrestling and to Japan and all this stuff, and you look at my involvement coming out of it, being more passionate about it, but passionate behind the scenes to the people. And then you see my involvement in it now with RPW, ICW, XICW, all this stuff. So I just wondered, it's a good question because we're always looking for that next show, aren't we?
See,
Do you have that next show out?
I'm not. But
You're not?
I don't watch shows though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't watch
But
shows.
you're
I don't
not
usually
looking
watch
for your
movies.
next Guardians of the Everglades when you're burning time?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah.
I mean, now you guys can get all over Neal because that is snob. Holy cow! Look at that guy.
Oh, don't make that.
That's
don't
sorta
make some
bougie,
faux
bro.
rage here,
That's
all right?
sort of bougie, bro.
Don't
Now,
ma-
you're not like you're not even out there to hear.
Look,
hear
I
about
see
it.
what you're doing here, man.
What am
you
I
see,
doing?
You see how I talked about how I could poke the bear and make you lock in even more on Oak Island. Like, I have that control over you.
Wait, what are you
don't,
talking about?
Don't in turn flip that around and say, hey, let's get some faux
I don't know.
outrage going on Neal and Neal
Let me just
snobbery
ask
here, bro.
Spencer, is there any shows or anything that you're looking forward to, or?
Yeah, I'm rewatching The Wire right now. I'm on my second trip through The Wire. You know, Presbo's starting to teach those kids. I think it's season 4.
Question for you, right? You're back into it. Are you enjoying it, watching it the second time? I'm a tough second watch, but are you picking things up the second time that you're enjoying it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm enjoying it just as much as the first time because that's one of the shows I watched during lockdown, like you said. And, yeah, going back into it, seeing different things that I didn't catch the first time, I'm loving it.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah. Rack says Storage Wars. Why do I watch Storage Wars?
Yes.
But it's the same.
You know what, though? I would guess that that's kind of like Oak Island, except with gratification. Like, you actually get something at the end. Like, you get some finality, some
Well,
closure.
here's the whole thing, Neal. And you know what? And it makes sense because you're a little bit younger and you always want it now, want it now, want it now. You need the payoff. Maybe I'm just like the business that I'm in the Darren McCarty brand. Patience and resilience. I can wait it out. That's just can of life, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Relax World says, can we talk brackets? We're going to get to it, man. We got a long show. You know, we got a couple hours here that we certainly do get it in. We will talk about the NCAA tournament. Certainly we'll talk about the Malik Willis Pro Day as well. Understand there's some news in the NFL. Tyreek Hill has been granted permission to request a trade, to talk to people about being traded. So we'll track that stuff down as well. Tev Sauce, too. Neal's like, I don't watch people on TV. People watch me on TV.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to imply.
See, there you
but
go.
At least there's
You happy?
self-awareness to everything
You
else
happy,
that he
DMac?
says it's true.
Couldn't let me have a little victory on you. You had to go flex the
not
muscle.
today.
Yeah, had to go flex the muscle on the folks, right? Had to, right?
Flexing Wednesday. It's Dynamite Wednesday, guys. Tonight. That's it. So that was my Wardlow.
Yeah,
There
lot,
it is. I was
lot going
flexing.
on. A lot going on a Wednesday.
Well, it's what we do.
Yeah, so Tammy Chin says, I love the HGTV network. I would say if there's one that I do fall into, there's something about people that a couple who is like a part-time blogger and the other one is an artist that doesn't sell any pictures, yet they have an $850,000 budget for a beach house that must have an open concept. There's something about watching these people look for a house that I just want to smash them over the top of the head. That keeps me going on that show.
Right? It doesn't. That's the old wrestling adage, right? You got your attention, whether you like it or you hate it. You're watching it.
Yeah. He's a part-time blogger. She's an artist that hasn't sold a painting in 2 years. They have an $825,000 budget, and it must have an open concept.
So my thing would be, how did they get to that point?
They
right?
didn't.
Instead
It's
of
faux.
hating on it, it'd be like,
No,
okay,
it's
so
fake,
where's
DMac.
the brilliance in it? But you know what? We got the guy to talk to coming up. You know, we also got the guy to talk to because, you know, Princeton graduate, stuff like that. But the best hair in the business. And if I was you or me, which I'm trying to get the mullet, just like our guest, which I'm not going to tell you who it is. You got to stick around. But go to Lady Jane's. And also, too, you can sign up today, $100,000. That's it, $100,000. You go in, you sign in, you sit down, boom. Next thing you know, your hair is perfectly, genuinely mouleted up, mullet style. You're ready to rock and roll, and you're entered in for $100,000. So 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, anytime, be there. Chance to win, get that mullet, rockin' DCFC style. Why? Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Big D Energy. Neal Rule, DMac, Spence and Sammy Flannel will be right back. Stay tuned. Big guest coming up. Big D Energy.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
I'm Cade, Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel in the house. We got Spencer Raxter as well. Happy to have you guys with us. Just wrapping up that little TV discussion. Yeah, Joey 2 times. Neal likes the HGTV network because he gets to laugh at all the people with only one furnace. Clomp Sauce, classic meme. She's a butterfly catcher. He sharpens colored pencils part-time. Their budget is $1.4 million. He breeds salamanders. I finger paint grass. Our budget is $1.3 million. So, that's always entertaining. Speaking of entertaining, it is a City Wednesday here on Big D Energy and live in studio here at the Woodward Sports Network of Detroit City FC. We have Antoine Hoppenot here in studio. He scored the goal to give City the 1-0 win over Charleston on Saturday. Antoine, appreciate you slide through. You live in the area. You're living in Birmingham with the fam.
Yeah, I do. It's a fantastic place.
Yeah.
Having a great time so far. Kind of stumbled into Birmingham, and I loved it.
All right. Well, first things first, man. And I know you got the hat on. We'll be asking you to remove the hat in just a minute, obviously, because your hair precedes you. No, and I joked about this on Twitter yesterday. No chemicals, no treatments, no go-to products or anything like that. It's all natural?
Yeah, I let it go. I let it do its thing, honestly. It kind of sometimes it gets a little too crazy, and I have to put a hat on as I'm doing right now. But if it's slick down a little bit with water and just let it go, let it do its thing.
And for those of you watching on the YouTube channel right now, some close-ups there of Antoine Hoppenot's hair and DMac. I know you can certainly appreciate that.
Well, I'm trying and stuff like that. Any tips? Like as far as how often you get it cut, or is it to make it lush, or is it just au naturel, just like the talent we see on the field?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but just let it happen. Honestly, I buzzed it last June and then kind of grew it out, and then in January, my wife just buzzed the sides, and I was like, all right, we're doing this.
And it's popular with the fans. We will certainly say that. But before we get into you and kind of your journey here, soccer veteran that played in the MLS, played his college soccer at Princeton as well. What about that? Your time here right now, and you spent the last, I guess you would say, the last couple seasons at Louisville City and in the USL. Also, played in the MLS also. So you've been at the very top levels of American soccer. Why Detroit, man? And Louisville City, for those that don't know, when I've talked about that, when we've had guests on here, that's one of the lead dogs of the USL. They have a $75 million downtown stadium, all that. You were there. Why Detroit City?
Yeah, I think there's a great thing happening here in Detroit. Obviously, moving up from the NISA to the USL Championship, you're taking that big step up, and I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of what Trevor is bringing to Detroit, and I wanted to be a part of bringing soccer up a step, up a level in Detroit.
I believe, one of the things is that I know we have your goal here, which any time to be able to, like I was telling you beforehand, is that I believe not only with the great hair and scoring the first goal at home in front of the fans, the one thing that I noticed, because I'm big on culture, was your celebration. Right, so and the celebration. So not only it was special because Neal, you were on the call for this, and just we talked about it off the air. Is that the inflection of it coming?
Rodriguez has it. Rodriguez lets it go. The stop is made. The rebound's put back in. Oh, 1-0
And
City.
if you're watching this, you see that Antoine Hoppenot, love that call, Neal, by the way. You've been working on that.
That's his name.
He ran to the sideline, right? We've seen, I'm big on celebrations and in all sports and stuff like that because you find out a lot about a team. But you immediately sprinted down the field, then off to the sideline with all the teammates. Was that on purpose, or was that, because to me, it's sort of set that flag, that moment for DCFC, that to not only the teammates but the fans, that what you just said about something special here, you were proving it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a conversation we all had before the game that if we scored a goal, we wanted to celebrate kind of together with the bench, and especially with Trevor. You know, he's a huge part of why this is happening. You know, the whole coaching staff obviously has played a huge part in all this happening. So we kind of want to celebrate with everyone. It's not really about who scored the goal. It's really about the team. It's really about the coaching staff, and then it's obviously about the fans and the whole organization. But it was really important for me, and then I think for us as a whole group, make sure, you know, we celebrate together, and especially with Trevor, who's obviously, you know, he's the reason we're all here. He's the reason all these guys are still playing. He's the reason I'm, you know, here and still playing. So it's huge. It's important to make sure that, you know, everyone understands that he is Detroit City FC.
Antoine Hoppenot, our guest here, City Wednesday on Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. So I have a personal question, Antoine, that I need to know for me, and that I know the answer as far as I'm related. You went to college at Princeton, all right? So you're smarter than I am, like right off the rip. How hard is it for real? How hard are classes at Princeton? How tough is that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I get in because of soccer, so I don't know if I'm smarter than you.
All right, fair play.
But once you get in, it's kind of you're in it, you know. So there's no other choice but to do it. That's how I usually feel. I always try to put myself in a situation where, you know, push myself a little bit, but once you're in it and you have to do it, you kind of just do it, and that's kind of the way I've been going through my whole life, is kind of just going through situations and just persevering, and it's just taking that next step, and all of a sudden you've graduated Princeton and you're looking around and everyone's looking at you like you're really smart, but you're not really that smart.
So it's just it's more of the perception of what it brings. So is it true though that the fact of going through that and being out of there, and obviously I don't care where you graduate from, you should be proud of it, but I guess is it because I would say that you're the veteran in this. Like, you know, obviously I see your dogs. You mentioned your wife. You know, it's not like you're just your first few years into this thing. Would you say as a Princeton grad, other than just how everybody else says, oh, you're a Princeton grad, so you're automatically smart, but the, like, perception, I'm always looking to see, is there something you learned there or that they teach Ivy League about life or anything like or is that just the perception of it's not the reality? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a great question. I think it's kind of what you make of it. I think you go there, and especially for me, it was, you know, working hard. You know, like, you have to work hard. If you don't work hard, then you're not gonna get the grades, or you're not gonna be able to graduate, and you're not gonna be able to succeed. And it's just that instilling of that work ethic. I think that's more important. But you can get that anywhere. I think obviously Princeton does a good job and kind of forces you into that because of the kind of the level of academics, but you can get that anywhere. Just getting that work ethic instilled in you, and the ability to be like, hey, like, oh, this seems impossible, and then you succeeding and be like, man, like, if all I have to do is work hard and I can succeed at things that I did not believe I could do, that's kind of what it does. It gives you that ability to have confidence in yourself that your work ethic can get you where you want to go.
Antoine Hoppenot joining us here, City Wednesday on Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. So let's go to your time now in MLS, and you're playing for Philadelphia, and you know, you look at it where here you are out of Princeton, and am I good enough to be at this level? I imagine those kind of questions surface for you. I would imagine in professional sports, and DMac, you could probably, you know, speak to that as well. You come from the OHL. Yeah, you had pedigree and stuff like that, but how do you deal with that when you're not the number 1 overall pick, when you're not the number 2 overall pick? Do you question that? And then there you were, you know, played almost 70 matches, you know, in the MLS, scored multiple goals in the MLS as well. Hey, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, definitely not the number 1 or 2 pick. I think I was number 80-something pick, where I think there's only like 90-something players getting picked. So I was really at the bottom. And it's and when you get picked, you don't get a contract. So it's you're showing up. I was showing up in the middle of finals. I was going back and forth from Princeton, doing finals at Princeton, and trying out for the Union at the same time, trying to do both at the same time. It didn't go so well. My finals grades were terrible, but ended up making the team, which was incredible. And obviously, you know, like, spent 4 years there after that, and it is a very humbling experience to show up in an environment like that where everyone is better than you technically. You know,
Yeah.
everyone should be better than you, and it's just again, it goes back to having the confidence in yourself to be able to go there and believe in yourself. And I don't lack in confidence. I think everyone who knows me will agree with that. So
that's a great segue, Antoine, because that was going to be my next question. I don't have to, when I commentate on the matches, I don't have to wonder what you're thinking or what's going through your mind. You let everybody know, including the television cameras, including the fans and everything like that. I mean, you do make it obvious as to what you're thinking. What about that? Where does that come from? Like, why do you mix it up verbally? Why are you always in the mix?
I don't know if it's anything I can help myself. It's kind of just who I am. I get really emotional. Let's say emotional on the field. You know, even at training. Even all the time whenever I'm with anyone, you know, I get really wound up and hopped up on a lot of things, and I get excited, and I'm either very passionate about something, and I'll let you know, and I have a lot of opinions. Let's put it that way. That I make sure people understand and where I stand on pretty much every subject that comes across.
But in saying that, because I'm the same way, would you not agree?
You're the Antoine Hoppenot of Woodward Sports. I'll say that.
What's that?
You're the Antoine Hoppenot of Woodward Sports.
The whole thing. But I'm a little bit older, so I've learned maybe I'm a little bit softer in my old age to pick my spots. But I'm not afraid, like the character. But is that what it is to be able to? Because it's one thing to just talk, or be upset. It's how you do it. So there is a reason, and I think people there's different players, but the fact that it comes from your pure emotion, right? That people get behind you that way. Now, is there a certain learning curve to however have done it, right? Which is to say, which I guess what is it that you've learned? In being that emotional, because if I was your opponent, I'm trying to get you there and go over the edge and to do something because you're a good player, and if you're not on their team, then so do guys use that against you and like try to get you carded or with the referees or stuff, or like how have you molded that part of you, because your self-awareness, right? You even said it. No matter where I'm in. So that pretty much means like at home or with your buddies or whatever. If you're emotional about it, I'm the same way, right? So I guess part of it is because you're a leader now and you're a big part of this team. How do you I guess I'm asking for advice. How do you hone that, or what do you learn to when to pick your spots and when not to pick your spots, or when to say it so that it means something?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the hardest thing, especially for me, where it's so emotional, it's so raw, and it's something that, you know, I'm still struggling to this day, trying to harness it in a positive way. And there are days, you know, I had a whole conversation with Trevor about this, where there was a day where I got really frustrated, you know, at myself and maybe a couple guys, you know, and then I get frustrated at myself for being frustrated, and then it just kind of spirals, and you know, it's this understanding of this is happening. How do I fix it? How do I get away from it? And then kind of go positive with it. It's still a learning process. I think I'm going to be dealing with this my entire life, and hopefully one day I figure it out, but who knows?
So is Trevor your gate? Like, is Trevor, so for me, right, like that's where Chris Draper, my centerman and center of the grind line or whatever, had sort of the
He was your gatekeeper?
The gatekeeper. Would you say Trevor's your gatekeeper, or are there a few teammates out there that because you realize this, right? So if you are this team, one of the guys you respect, maybe it's Nate, who, you know, the goal was something is just like, bro, is there somebody there, or is that something because of the new team, the new org that you're learning together to develop that?
I think it's starting to become, you know, Maxie's actually a few times have come up to me and told me, hey, like, just, you know, take a second, you know, and it's a really positive thing, and it's a really great quality of his to be able to, you know, come up and say that and try to, you know, and he clearly enjoys the passion, but he just, you know, sometimes needs to be harnessed a little bit. So it's great to have, you know, a guy like that. Obviously Trevor as well, you know, he keeps talking to me, trying to get me, you know, in a positive way, stay positive. because I tend to sometimes, get frustrated with, my play or, the way things are going. So it is a continuous thing, but I think as a team we're gonna all kind of go through this process of getting frustrated and learning how to deal with that frustration.
Self-awareness right there. Love it.
That's what it's all about.
Right there, which there's growth to be had. My man, like I love it, and that's the whole thing where you realize that different guys come to you, and it's that love and that passion they appreciate. It's just that here's not the right time. That's where I got is that don't change.
Antoine, I'll tell you this, man. You're in the right town for the kind of dude you are. I'll say it like this town is gonna take to you, man, and you're gonna take to this town. I guarantee you that. I've been loving it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like you're getting it already. And lastly, before we let you go, and one of our listeners here, Rack, says, I think the yellow card from the San Antonio FC game, although weak, showed that DCFC wasn't scared moving up, and that's something that I've noticed in these two matches. First 10 or 15 minutes of these matches, these teams seem to come out and say, you're a cute story and everything like that, but this is professional soccer. This is the USL. We're big-time teams with big-time stadiums and big-time budgets with big players. We will push you around and we will break your spirit. And I think both times you guys have said, no, that's not going to be the case. And I think, while you guys came up short in that match, what Rack says I think is very valid. That yellow card, I think, showed a lot of things to a lot of people. I think
it's important, it wasn't a purposeful yellow card. I'm not that smart. It's just this intensity, and I think a lot of these teams, as you said, have come out and kind of, especially we thought San Antonio a little bit, even Charleston thought they were going to come out and just beat us.
Right. Physically,
and just they thought it was going to be an easy game, and they would be able to control the narrative and the flow of the play. And I think they realized really quickly that that's not going to happen. And it's a credit to our whole team. It's a credit to especially our three center backs who deal a lot of that punishment. Matt, Steven, and Devin, all three of them go out there and they bang bodies, and it's incredible.
All right. Well, Antoine, I appreciate you sliding through, man. I know you're local, so we'll be leaning on you a couple of times, man, as the season goes on for sure. Thanks for coming through, and we'll be talking again soon, man.
Awesome, yeah.
All right. Antoine Hoppenot, everybody, of Detroit City FC. They're in action this Saturday, 4 o'clock at Keyworth. Go to DebtCityFC.com, scoop up some tickets, and get down there to the best environment in Detroit sports. That's fact, not opinion. And if you don't agree with that, go down there. Go down there and see. Let me tell you about Cintron World, an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron, the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and just announced proud partners with Detroit City FC as well. It's exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is the top choice. Buy online at CintronWorld.com. Use the promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Think you're a big shot?
Oh, excuse me, it goes down!
Think you can make the big shot?
Washington fires and hits!
Woodward Sports wants to send you to the finals for college basketball April 2nd through the 4th in New Orleans. That's right, you and a friend in the Big Easy. We'll take care of the airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the finals for college basketball. Listen Monday through Friday to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy. And the bottom line for your chance to qualify. If you can make the big shots, you and a friend are getting out of the cold and to New Orleans.
Got it!
Keep listening and watching for your next chance to win. Powered by Planet Fitness, Cintron, and the Sports Marketing Agency.
And it's over! Anything can happen in March!
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Neal Rule here for Wing Snob, because let's be honest, it takes a snob to know a snob. So here I am, fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob, the best traditional wings. Try the signature sauces like the Jamaican Jerk or the lemon pepper. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you choose. When you're this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online right now. Get ready for lunch. Wingsnob.com. They brought some through last week. Killer. Real talk. Like this, you guys, I always told you this. When I believe in what I'm telling you about, this is certainly one of them. Their wings, they're right up there with anybody else, and that's fact, not opinion. Wing Snob, They just have better wings. Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Big thanks to Detroit City FC, John Hevron, for setting up Antoine Hoppenot on a City Wednesday edition. You know we're doing it every week. We're going to talk to somebody from DCFC till we get every last one of you out there to Keyworth at some point this summer, because it was electric in there. It's everything you guys claim you want. Organic growth, no tax money for stadiums, all that. They care about the fan experience, reasonable prices. It's everything you say you want.
And I've been there. It's the real deal. And
Man,
if you want to be
confirm.
down there, you want to be a part of something, you want to grow something, shout out to Antoine. I love that. It's the self-awareness of something else being built downtown in the city. So don't knock it till you try it.
Absolutely. Somebody in our YouTube channel, Harley Fife. Neal Rules and Darren McCarty, what is your go-to cereal at the moment, and what was it favorite as a kid growing up? We're going to get into Malik Willis, but I do want to address this.
I was only allowed Raisin Bran. I wasn't allowed sugared cereals. But now my go-to is probably Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes is your go-to? I don't really do a lot of cereal, more of like a Kind bar, protein bar. But back in the day when I was a kid, it was Cocoa Pebbles. That was on Smash. Fruity Pebbles as well.
On Smash.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of that, smash that like button. Congratulations, Dabber. You got your roll first in back to.
Yeah. Don Burr. King Vitamin cereal. If you know, you know. Nobody knows about King Vitamin cereal.
Vitamin?
Nobody wants to admit that they know about King Vitamin cereal.
Hey, man, we used to have the King Vitamin. We had the Fruity Circles. We had the Sugar Flakes. You know, all that good stuff. I like me some King Vitamin.
Honey Smacks. Honey Smacks was another. If I couldn't get the Fruity Pebbles or the Cocoa Pebbles.
Sugar or Honeycomb.
Yeah, Honeycomb was good. The classics. You know,
play the classics, bro.
Yeah, you just play the hits like that. That's all you do. Malik Willis Pro Day yesterday, and I believe it was Don Burr that right when we got on the air said something to the effect of, "I've been hyping up Malik Willis for a long time," and I feel like I always need to get this straight. I haven't been, because I know what's going to happen, DMac. If they don't take him at 2, like say, I don't know, Brad Holmes and the regime decide that's not their guy. If they don't take him at 2, you know what's going to happen, right? People are going to take to social media. They'll take to here and say, "I told you, Neal, I told you." I'm not calling for them to take him. All I'm saying is this total dismissal.
Didn't you say all along, if I heard you correctly, be prepared?
Be prepared.
Isn't that your prerogative?
Yeah.
Be prepared.
He's more in play than you think he is. That's fair.
It's almost, your be prepared is almost like this would be the why they would choose him at 2. So don't
and that is
be
where,
shocked. You've always said, every time I hear it, be prepared.
I always qualify it. But here's the thing with it, DMac, and here's why. I don't want to say like it's a victory lap or anything like that coming off his pro day, because who has had a bad pro day? No one ever in the history.
Ojabo.
Oh, David Ojabo had a bad pro day. Yeah, that was a bad pro day. But other than that, everybody else has had a good pro day. It's just, for me, DMac, the why makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. And make no mistake, the game is moving towards that. Contractual flexibility is something that is valuable. As you're watching on the YouTube channel right now, we picked out the highlights. The laser show that was Malik Willis.
That was sick.
Yeah. The laser show.
Anybody was watching, he rolled right.
The acceleration, all of it.
Came back left and threw it like 70 yards downfield in the air.
Yeah. So, again, I'm not saying that he's the pick, and if the Lions don't take him, it's the biggest mistake in the history of the franchise. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're like, no, the quarterbacks stink, there's no way they're taking a quarterback, you're wrong.
No.
You're absolutely wrong. And I've given you the financial reasons as to why. Because a quarterback position is the biggest discount to market, maybe in professional sports. A quarterback on a rookie contract.
Well, you hammer that down. You hammer that down of the why. So, definitely. But the stuff that happened yesterday at the pro day, there's nothing that happened because Brad Holmes and his regime had Malik Willis at the Senior Bowl and stuff like this. There's nothing they don't know that he can't do. So this was just for you.
It was for my entertainment.
For your viewing pleasure. Mr. I don't watch TV, but oh my God, my favorite show is Malik Willis' pro day. I'll rewatch it and stuff like that. But no, I think, Neal, to be serious, is that you're explaining the why. And so if, like some people, because that's, we did it yesterday, there's a split on whether he is or he's not. But the question is he the guy for the job? Is he the right guy for the job for what you're trying to do here in Detroit moving forward? And that's only up to, again, Brad Holmes.
And here's my thing with it, too. And this is going to sound funny to hear, because I think a lot of the people that just crap on the thought of the Lions being in play to take Malik Willis at 2, they're like, I've noticed from what I've seen, a lot of those people are Kyle Hamilton people. They want the quote-unquote sure thing, right? What I'm saying is it's all a gamble, right? Kyle Hamilton is a gamble. Malik Willis is a gamble. And for me, it just comes back to the one principle. I'm not interested in paying a safety $9.5 to $10 million a year when the best one in the game just got 15. As opposed to, it's a gamble to take Malik Willis and pay him $9.5 million a year, to where the best in the game, Aaron Rodgers, is getting $50 million a year. You see what I'm saying? That's my why. That's my why. And it's a factor. It's not just talent, guys. It's not just talent. It's not just predictability, because it's all a gamble. It's not just talent. The finances come into play too. They do. Guys, I'm sorry. The finances come into play too. They do.
They have to, because we've talked about it all along. How are you going to build your team? Through the draft, which means having a quarterback that's under a first contract, like other teams who are successful, and put it in. So what you're telling me, Neal, is that that to draft the quarterback to put him under the contract, then it enables you to have more salary cap to spend, like $15 million on a safety.
Well, there's even that. Like DMac, if you got a quarterback at $9 million a year, $9.5 million a year, you could take one conceivably in the first round, and this won't happen, obviously, guys, but I'm giving you what the math is. You could take one in the first round for the next 5 years in a row and still be paying less than what the Packers pay Aaron Rodgers.
That's
to the
true.
position. That's math.
Well, I think the whole Aaron Rodgers and the whole quarterback, what you wanted to play, is just so you're not in the position like you see the Packers in right now, or different teams. You'd rather be in a San Diego position or a LA Chargers position, right, where they have their rookie quarterback under contract, and now they're making trades and putting pieces together around him. That's sort of, not the Cincinnati way. Is you have to get lucky to have a first overall and draft that quarterback that is. We're not in that position, so it's more of the guess, just like Justin Herbert was for the Chargers. So this is more of, to me, it seems like if you're going to build it this way, you're going to try to build it the Chargers way, if he's your guy.
If he's your guy.
If he's your guy. Whether he's your guy or he's not your guy, you know what should be all of our guys, whether it's residential, business, no matter what, it's Guardian Alarm. Why? Because Guardian Alarm gets it. Whether you're home or business or anywhere, state-of-the-art technology right here. Turn your lights on, turn them off, check your cameras, do whatever you need inside and out, the smoke detector if it's on fire, and the deadly silent killer, carbon monoxide, for when you're asleep. So if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Guardian Alarm family, you can, but I need you to call today. 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Now, if you want Guardian Alarm and they can save all your flannels like Sammy, give them a call, 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Stay out of his house. Let him know Woodward Sports sent you. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Big D Energy, Neal Rule, DMac here on a Wednesday. Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We've got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer here in the house as well. We have you guys all in the house on the YouTube channel. Don't forget about the Roar, 93.5 FM on the radio side, Detroit's new all-sports station. And, we're talking about the Malik Willis thing, kind of wrapping up that discussion. Daniel Gray says Rodgers is the best in the game. Well, I mean, if you go by the money, right? I mean, obviously, you guys know my thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. Go back through the YouTube channel on Woodward Sports, and you'll get my thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's the best in the game.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Did yesterday's pro day change any opinion of you of Malik Willis? So I know you're be prepared analogy and stuff like this, but do you think he's the pick? If you were Brad Holmes, do you pick Malik Willis too?
Here's why I would endorse that, and I'm here for it. Number one, it's the financials of what we talked about. Number two, I don't think... See, like, people are talking, and this is the fantasyization of the draft. This is the real-life draft we're dealing with here, not the fantasy draft, where you can say, hey, I'm going to take a running back and then a wide receiver, and then I'll gamble on the tight end, and then I'll take a receiver because I know I can get Matt Stafford in the 6th round. This isn't that. You know what I'm saying? Aiden Hutchinson is a gamble, folks. I know everyone just wants to pencil it in that he's some kind of lock. Aiden Hutchinson is a gamble. Now, I would say because what's my criticism of him being the number one if you're the number one overall pick, DMac, then they better put a gold jacket on you. You know what I'm saying? Is he a gold jacket guy?
Is there a gold jacket guy in this draft?
Oh, some people are saying maybe Kyle Hamilton is.
Okay.
I don't know that. But there are. I don't get that feeling that there is. Now, I think NFL GMs would say there is.
Most years, right? As a fan, can you not speculate that there's 2-3 guys top of the
gold
draft,
jacket guys.
Gold jacket guys. So to that point, it tells you that pretty much, for the most part, most of these guys are not a crapshoot, but a gamble.
Yeah, and
a gamble because
they're all gambles.
The
to me.
ceiling of this draft is lower than past drafts, right? The talent-wise. So in saying that, you got to figure out what direction it is. I was talking about the wings of Steve Yzerman having the long, showing me that it's more about the long play and not getting worried about what's happening with the wings because they're in that spot. We're going to find out what the long play is for the Lions, right? That's when I say this, it's even more apparent that we're coming to the fork in the road and we got to go right or we got to go left. So, so who are you going to gamble on? That's what it is. If you're going to gamble, where are your chips and where you're going to gamble on, and this is where the GMs come into play. Now, there's still things in play, about some team absolutely when I made the point about I think the Lions already knew everything they saw. Well, I think some other teams yesterday are sitting in their camps today going, man, that Malik Willis pro day, what do we got to do? And maybe there's conversations about moving into a trade, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that Brad Holmes has a plan and then a contingency plan and something this. But the one thing that I do feel is that like you, nothing's changed. So nothing should have changed to whether they're going to go defensive end, quarterback, safety, whatever else, right? But what has changed is the opinions of maybe other teams.
Yeah, and look, guys, I understand it. And Doughboy Steve, we can draft a might be good quarterback any year. I would say that Malik Willis is more than a might be good quarterback.
I think just what I saw in those two passes is that there's something more to that than just another quarterback.
And right? The thing that sells me on him is his ability to run the football. We haven't had that.
Right.
We've never had that here.
No, and
Mikey McMahon
haven't even gotten to presenting what this guy presents as an asset to that, right? Where you've never had that. So again, as that being one of his big assets is his running ability.
To me,
right?
yes.
The fact is, to this team with the offensive line, the running backs, where we say that with this offensive line, it doesn't matter who you put Netflix back there and he runs for 4.5, 5 yards a carry. Well, I'd like with a running mobile quarterback, a big Haas offensive line. So maybe if you're looking to check a category because of that, it fits more of the Lions, which you saying that, leaning towards be prepared, him going number 2 to the Lions.
Grom at 0237.
Makes sense, bro.
Here's where Neal talks down to everyone. Have I talked down to anyone? Spencer, have I talked down to anyone?
It's just your tone. You can't help it. It's just you have this, like, it's almost, thank God Antoine left because he's from Princeton, but now you're the smartest guy in the room.
Now we're back to me being the smartest guy in the room. Thank God, because I really didn't like it.
You were uncomfortable.
Yeah, I did not like it.
I felt the intimidation. I was going to start speaking French. We were going to do that, but we didn't want to exclude you.
Well, thank you, DMac. You're my guy, man.
Yeah, I know. I am.
Been friends for a long time for a reason.
Right, even though, see, I can stand, and you know where I stand tall with my Oak Island boys, right? So you got it.
As opposed to just the regular Island boys who I follow on TikTok.
You know, that's you and Spencer's thing. That's a frat boy thing. I wasn't invited. Island boys.
Island boys.
Oh, yeah. As I told you guys, when I leave here, I'm hiring them to do a cameo of me, because Neal don't want to work here no more. Because he want to be an island boy.
Man. That would be beautiful. That would be one of the best things Woodward Sports has ever
I'll
seen.
drop that in the Slack.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the office
Drop
Slack.
that in the Slack.
Yeah.
I love it.
Benchy to go. I think this sums it up pretty well for me. Malik has the ability. It's about consistency. That's a good thing. It's not like you're trying to take a guy who doesn't have it. You're trying to make have it. And, I know for me, again, Hutchinson is a gamble to me, man. He is. Malik Willis is a gamble. He is. I understand that. There are no quote-unquote sure things in this draft. The next year, those quarterbacks that everyone is saying, Bryce Young is a gamble, everyone. C.J. Stroud is a gamble. To whereas I would say, go through the lineage of the Ohio State quarterbacks. Point out the good ones to me. I'll wait.
Here's the whole thing, right? Is also, too, where it comes back to Brad Holmes. And, they are looking at the quarterbacks coming out next year and stuff like this. My interest would be, where did they have Spencer Rattler last year? Where did they have, the Kenny Pickett's? Where were they going in? You never know where somebody had to have an eye on Malik Willis during the year or popped out. So that's the conversation, right? I bring this up because the Spencer Rattler, who's supposed to be the number 1 pick and all this stuff, if your team, that to me, that's let's just say Urban Meyer would have got caught on that hype train, right? From what we're hearing about all the stuff of Urban Meyer not knowing about the NFL, not knowing who Aaron Donald was, anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the hype train. I don't feel that the hype train will ever get to this front office. It's not about that. The hype comes in, they see it, and you know what I'm saying?
And guys, as I look at what you guys are saying, I'm not saying die on the hill to draft the guy. I'm team move back.
Be prepared. How much can we put a be prepared? I need a flashing be prepared for this to happen when Neal talks about this.
There is a possibility.
Because if you can't listen, then can you put up your, like I do at home for this the words that come up so you can see the words that come out and we'll have be prepared?
No, again, I'm not prepared to die on the hill. I am team move back because I'm team rookie contract. And I'll take the most rookie contracts I can get.
Absolutely. Imagine you can move back to Jets or Giants or whatever and
Steelers,
get Kyle
whoever.
Hamilton.
And I'll go below.
Right,
I'll go below book
down,
value.
Right. If you move down, where because of the money and stuff like this or whatever, what's an acceptable position for Kyle Hamilton? Like to trade, because that would be the trade.
I think you got to get to the double digits where it gets down to like $5-ish million a year.
Okay.
And guys, this is a factor. Like, let's not pretend that it's not. It is. I know that, as Robert said, I'm not using my high school calculus teacher voice right now. The money's a factor.
It always has been.
And it always will be.
Yesterday that Steve Yzerman manhandles the rest of the NHL because he's got cap control. So when you have control of your cap, you can manipulate the other people for draft picks and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
This goes into the behind the... This is like the behind the curtain. This is like in wrestling when they're preparing the match and the two guys are actually on the same team before they come out and hate each other, right? That you don't see. The preparation for it.
We gon' see.
I love that line too. Charles McLean, The guy was in shorts and a T-shirt, no defensive players coming at him. I could look good in shorts with no defensive players. Players should be judged with defensive players on the field. No, but see, here's the difference, though, too. Like, I tapped in and watched 4 of the games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched 4 of the games. And, yeah, you know, when they played Mississippi State, did he struggle a bit? Yeah, he struggled a bit. Power 5 opposition on the road, lots of guys are going to struggle a bit.
It's a good point, too, brought up by our people. Mark Brunell. Remember, he said he could turn one of these quarterbacks into a Pro Bowler. If Mark Brunell's talking about that's a big thing too. Brad Holmes was going, Mark Brunell, you like any of these guys or whatever like this? And these are the discussions where I get back to all of this has been apparent to the Lions for a long time, and because of the Senior Bowl operations, because of all that stuff. So it's just be confident, no matter who it is. No matter who you want, or
we all
you
get
have
to
to
the
be
same
confident
route.
in
Yeah.
that they choose the right for all these reasons. And I know it's weird because that's how good teams operate. But you know what? They're slowly but surely. It's a different regime, but they're operating differently. So allow them to.
And I will say this too: the consensus of people in our chat thread. I think the consensus of people on Twitter. We all end up at the park together for the barbecue. Now, I maybe take. You know, I go down Main Street and cut across the street there. You guys go directly across the street here. Some other people go a different way. I think collectively we're all ending up at the barbecue together. Just a lot of people are taking some different roads and how they get there. And the barbecue is we trust Brad Holmes to make the pick. And I just go off the track record. He had 3 hitters, as as our guy Sawyer used to say when he talked about the $2 mystery beer vending machine. He's pulled 3 hitters. Yeah. Out of that mystery beer vending machine that is the NFL draft. So I think we're all in agreement. We just get caught up in the way there. I do want to talk about this Tyreek Hill thing. Jake Wegener, Neal's got a real Two Furnaces tone when he talks about Malik Willis. It's just, I'm passionate about the why because I think the why matters a lot more than people are giving it credit for. I do want to talk about this Tyreek Hill thing when we come back to Big D Energy, but I also want to tell you about Gypsy Vodka. Buddy. Locally made in Petoskey. That's right. It is a Michigan product. 50 different formulas. Countless taste tests. But the bottom line is this. Oh, I felt like a wrestler. The bottom line is this. Gypsy Vodka is the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market today. So get used to it. That was more wrestling right there. Gypsy Vodka, gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times. Uses artesian spring water, cool-looking bottle, all that. But through it all, the vodka tastes good. It is. Have it at home. It's one of the go-tos in the liquor cabinet on a Saturday night with some ice and some club soda and a little bit of lime as well. Try a bottle today. Go to the store. Ask for it by name. Say, where's that Gypsy Vodka? Some of our fans have tweeted pictures of them buying it at the store. Send us that, too. We'll put them on the show when we run the Gypsy Vodka commercial. Again, ask for it by name at Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Mornings in Detroit just got bigger. Starting April 4th, Terry Foster joins the Morning Woodward Show. That's right, the Motor City icon is now going to be on Woodward Sports every morning. So make sure you're waking up 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. daily to hear the Detroit legend along with Adam right here on Woodward Sports.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel over there. We got Spencer Raxter over there. Spencer's got that Detroit City FC scarf on and popping. I appreciate that for sure. And
got a rep.
Got a rep, no doubt about it. Happy to have you guys with us here today. The big news that dropped during the show, certainly we were interviewing Antoine Hoppenot of Detroit City FC. If you missed that, download our podcast on wherever you get your podcast from, the iTunes podcast, app as well certainly is in play for you. You can rewind, fast forward, all that kind of stuff. But the news kind of broke when we were on the air. Tyreek Hill has been granted permission to seek a trade, and Tyreek Hill is in the walk year of his contract, the 3-year, $54 million contract that he signed. He is a $20.6 million cap hit this year, but only $2.6 in dead cap. If the Chiefs were to let him go, i.e. trade him, he'll be an unrestricted free agent next year. Jets and the Dolphins are said to be the front runners for his services. Chiefs and Tyreek Hill are both trying to figure out what to do. But that is the story right now. Tyreek Hill and DMac, I've always told you guys, I'm a big Connor McDavid slappy. If I'm sitting at home and the Red Wings aren't on or the Pistons aren't on, I will watch the Oilers game. The Chiefs are kind of my Oilers. Tyreek Hill is kind of my B player, where when they're on TV and I don't have anything else to watch, I really enjoy watching Tyreek Hill play football. I don't enjoy the way he treats children or women, allegedly, or anything like that. Don't enjoy that.
You never
don't care
ask
about
your
that.
athletes to raise your kids.
I don't want to be friends with the guy. I don't want him to come over and to babysit my daughter while I go to work or anything like that. Don't want that. I watch him between those 4 white lines, and I enjoy it. He's entertaining. So, that's where it is with me.
Human highlight reel.
Yes.
Let's get it straight. And you know what, with the Jets and Dolphins talking to him and stuff like that, I mean, he fits pretty much, a lot of places. He's one of those weapons. Over the top. They call him a cheetah for a reason. That's his nickname. Those things are fast.
Yeah, and before we go into it, I did want to wrap up this Malik Willis discussion real quick. Alex Wims, if somehow it happened, would you take Willis at 32 if somehow he's still available? He's going to be a top 10 pick, guys. He's getting picked in the top 10 of the draft. I know he stinks and everything like that, but magically, I know there's no quarterbacks to take, but magically, at least 3 of them are going to go in the first round, probably 4, and magically one of them is going to go in the top 10, regardless of, despite what I've been told, because I was told that no quarterbacks were going to be taken. But anyway, and I'll cut this off too. Stop. And you know who you are. Stop with the, should the Lion, no. The Lions are not in that position right now. So, DMac, did I do an effective enough job of cutting that off or no?
No, you try. Yeah, yes, adequate.
Okay.
Stop. Absolutely. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't get the full gist of it. So I'm taking that as a sign from God that I'm going to let it go, and you handled it correctly, that I don't need to pay attention to it. Because if you're telling somebody to stop, what am I going to do?
Right.
Right? Because I am the Antoine Hoppenot of Woodward Sports Network. Remember that.
Yes, you are. Pistons fan 11. Too many picks, too much money. Yeah, I'm not interested.
No. This isn't.
We're not there
here
yet.
Now. This is the guy, right? In 2 years, 3 years from now, if everything plays in, that you have the caveat to go out and get. If he's the guy that you need, then yes, in 2-3 years, we're not talking about if this is the talent that puts you over the edge because you need a speed merchant that has this, then you drop the bag on this guy if he's the piece, right? And if you want to win, it doesn't matter about character development and that. When you're building the culture and where we're at right now, the money doesn't make sense. The trade, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't get you to where you want to go. So don't negate the idea of bringing in a Tyreek Hill. It's just bringing in a Tyreek Hill now is not in the plan.
So everybody let's just stop, okay? I don't feel as though we need to continue to address that,
nice.
Right?
No, I mean, it's just sort of like, hey, you know what? Fantasy-wise, you'll be happy to see because somebody's going to draft him out there, and who's throwing to him, right? Who's throwing to him? Tua, or who's the Jets dude now?
Zach Wilson. Yep. BYU's fine.
Zach, you know what I mean? Which may be, if they're going to save this kid, give him that weapon. So I can understand maybe Robert Saleh, they're trying to do something with the Jets to, give the kid some help.
Mr. Smith, I'll just say your name like that. Everyone that's on the YouTube chat thread, we're on radio too, Mr. Smith. So I can't talk like that. But here's a question, Neal: does Tyreek Hill fit the Lions' new culture? And I'll say no, and it's not because of why you think I'm going to say no. No, because he costs too much money and costs draft capital, and that's the culture, the draft culture. And that's why I'm fired up about Brad Holmes. That's why if he takes Malik Willis or deems Malik Willis worthy, then you should be all in on
And
it.
technically, you start there. Unfortunately, you start there with how does it affect your cap, how does it affect your draft, your money, and then you go, oh, what's this guy's character, right? Okay, because those are about winning. The character's not about winning. That's the different kind of culture. So it all comes together because you know what? That guy might be the guy you need. That's not the guy you want to raise your kids, but he's the guy that catches the winning Super Bowl touchdown, as an example.
Right. So, that's where it is for me. Just wanted to cut that one off before everybody got fired up about it. Joey, 2 times. Strange that the Packers didn't just pay Devontae Adams last offseason and the Chiefs aren't just paying Tyreek Hill right now, considering the salary cap is fake or whatever. And, Joey, that's a great point by you because, Joey, you and I – here's what I'm going to start doing.
You and I?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring people's comments in,
Yes.
and then you can deflect the snobbery to them because I didn't say it; they said
Right,
it.
So you and I, yeah. So that's it. So
Joey,
said,
you and I were told that the salary cap doesn't matter and that they could just find money wherever they wanted to. Great point, Joey. You and I were told that. We were told that the salary cap is not an issue and you can just find money. It's really weird, isn't it, Joey? These people that told us that. It's really weird how it's all working out. I like that play.
See,
that just
it.
popped inside my head.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Because that's what you're told. I heard it. So I wasn't told it, but you were told, so I heard it. So it's got to be true.
Yeah. Man, that's it. Motor City Muscle. My biggest concern as a Lions fan is that Sewell and Decker, are we committed to Decker for the long term, and can Sewell be elite right tackle? If not, trade Decker for draft capital. And the thing with Decker, what's he? He's sitting about 3 more years? I think it is. I can look it up right quick.
Right, and here's the whole thing: you got Ragnow coming back too. You got them a year under it, and to me, depending on what terms left or whatever, always could be assets to be moved to other teams to again build your draft stock and your capital. Right.
Right.
So you're still in a few years from there, unless they continue to progress and stuff like this. So. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, but then you'll have options, and that's what usually good teams do. They have options.
Yeah, 3 more years left on Decker, and then there's an option there at the end. And Penei Sewell for me that's the guy you want because his next stop after he's done with the Lions will be Canton.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
They're speaking of there's a 4th overall gold jacket guy, right? There's a gold jacket guy. We're talking about gold jacket guys in the draft, right? We expect him to be a gold jacket guy, right? So coming into this draft, you don't see that, which proves your point.
Right. So, JGB, are we so sure we're taking a quarterback? I never said that we were sure.
Can I get, this is where, be prepared. Be prepared.
It's in play.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
If it happens. If it happens.
We're going to see. I believe it was Drake that said it best. And Motor City Dan Campbell said multiple times he couldn't fairly evaluate Goff because of the way things went last season. In my opinion, we don't draft a quarterback and see if he balls. Well, I mean, you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt, too. When a coach comes out and addresses the media and they say, hey, how do you evaluate Jared Goff off a 3-13 in 1 year? Because what are you supposed to say if you're Dan Campbell? And DMac, this is something I've always admired about you that I feel doesn't get the credit that it deserves with you, and probably because of the role that you played in being an enforcer and being a fighter and things like that. Even to this day, when you talk to reporters and stuff like that, like there's 2 different kind of DMac personas. There's the one with the fans and the people and stuff like that when you come on here, and then I think you slip back into that old mode of being a player when you deal with the media and stuff like that. And you can still turn it on and turn it off to this day.
Yeah.
Where there are certain things you can say and there's certain things that you cannot say.
Right.
And that's truth. Whether we like it or not, that's the truth.
Well, and it's also, too, is that, and that's why it'll be with the DCFC, Antoine Hoppenot, where I ask different guys because it's so important to speak your truth. But it's also, too, is you got to, a lot of times, is see that it doesn't matter because we know today's day and age that sometimes your truth, your words, whatever, can be mismanaged, and there's a trust issue, Neal. That's what it is. It's a relationship and a trust issue. Now, I understand that maybe I'm a little bit more outspoken on certain things because at the end of the day, I do not care. At the end of the day, what anybody thinks about me is none of my business. And then that, so I can revert back into that. Now I try to be sensitive in different ways, but you have to watch what you say. Now there is this mismatch. If I joke about it with my best friend in the world, that he tells me he can't tell me anything hockey-wise because I'm media now, right? Which is somewhat of a joke, but it's not. That's that misnomer that you can't trust media or whatever and in today's day and age where everybody's media, everybody's got an outlet, everybody's got a phone, just forces guys, and you wonder why some of the athletes these days are even more robotic and even more just Melba toast. You know, like it's just plain because they can't afford it because somebody's always looking to snipe them. You know, like that's where, where I surround myself with people like yourself and then my small circle of that protects me because I listen to them. So instead of my mouth going out here and always just off the cuff to whatever, and to be quite honest, the fact that we do this show, we are on radio, you don't get the full me, right? Half the time I'm lost for words because I got to get the ones that I would use in real. Like if you want to have the conversation,
still filtering,
right? So that's the reality. Is it's trying to get it across, and at the end of the day, what you're trying to see, what's the message and what's the example. That's why it's frustrating sometimes, Neal, like, because people are on their own agenda, right? You've said this for months. Be prepared for this happens. But people hear what they want. But I understand that, right?
Sure.
Used to be there, but I refuse for certain things that I will stand up for. But a lot of that is, yes, it depends which media member. I just did, and I'm sure it'll be out Friday or whatever, Carlos from the Free Press did something, article with him for March 20, or maybe it's out Saturday or whatever like this. But I've known Carlos a long time. There's also too good to this, relationships that come out, Maz, you, Kevin Allen, who's my ghostwriter for my book that I couldn't be more proud of because when you read my book, it's me talking. So there are relationships. So it's just like anything else. But yeah, there are different levels and how much of you are you going to give them? And then how much of the BS are you going to give them too? Because certain people, what their agenda is, so you play with that. And then as you get older and more confident as an athlete, as you'll see guys, where either they don't care or they know the game. That's what it is. It's just knowing the game and playing the game.
Absolutely. Gator Raider, Neal trying to get Joey 2 times into the Snob Club. You hear that, Joey? They're saying we have a Snob Club together.
Bro. He was already there. You guys were double dipping blue cheese dressing and eating celery sticks the other day.
Joey,
seen ya.
Gators trying to say that we're snobs, bro.
Fitness it up too.
Come on, man. You know why he's doing that, Joey? Because he wants to be in our Snob Club. That's why. You can be in the club at mybookie.ag. March Madness Sweet 16 is going on tomorrow, everyone. We're making our way towards the Final Four. Major League Baseball going to start really soon. The Masters are out there. You can be like DMac and hit 25-1 shots to win the NASCAR race. You can do it. I saw the ticket. He did it. Should have taken mybookie.ag. You can do it too. Use a promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%. That is right, mybookie.ag. Promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%. You guys have been look. If you've been sitting on the sidelines for a while, say, man, I do want to get involved with this. I do want to do it. Let me tell you the why with mybookie.ag. The interface is clean. The screen is easy to read. All those things, and it's important. You might not know it's important, but it is. And it's quick. Everything moves. You want a live bet, whatever you want to do, that's important as well. MyBookie.ag has you covered. One of the best interfaces in the game. And one more time, use the promo code Woodward. They'll match your deposit up to 50%. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a problem with gambling? Call the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio. 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got our guy Spencer Raxter here, manning the ship, and we got Sam Flannel on the audio as well. Happy to have you all with us as we're motoring through the Wednesday. Look at that, just like that, guys. We're already halfway through the week. And, since we're talking, indirectly we're talking Detroit Lions, but, it's something where it's a topic that I brought up here in the past, and I'm wondering where you guys are at with it. Mike G says, great book, by the way, DMac. So there you go.
Yeah, appreciate that, Mike. And, it's funny, Neal, is because I wrote it like it's coming up on 10 years ago.
I know, right?
So there's so much has changed, and people say, you need to write another book. It takes so much time. I'm trying to do other things to let you know I'm all right. I give you the advice in the book, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Kevin's not busy.
Absolutely. Gatorator says, I'm jelly of the snob club. Well, just be a snob, and you can be in the snob club too, guys. I mean, it's not like it's that hard. CJ Schneider, I have 2 furnaces and max out my Roth IRA. And I'm trying to escape paying taxes on that IRA too. I'm going to see if my accountant can work on that for me.
Creative accounting.
What cracks in the system are there for me to take advantage of? A big mover like me.
Looks like there's a whole bunch of rule snobs out there. Are you a rule snob?
Yeah, absolutely.
Only on Woodward.
The Lions bringing back a fairly similar roster. And I've talked about this where people have talked about, the signings as they've come in. And DMac, universally, they've been lauded, right? Everybody has universally said that they liked the Charles Harris signing, as did I. And as their defense currently sits, you got Anzalone back, you got Charles Harris back, Tracy Walker back, Jacobs, I guess, back in terms of a signing, Aquara times 2 on the edge, Michael Brockers. It looks the same. Is that concerning? Because we were told, Joey 2 times, you and we were told that everybody liked these re-signings by the Lions, but then you look at that defense, and it's the same. And that defense got cooked on a couple of occasions.
No, absolutely. But I think that what it is we've talked about is that guys that have earned another chance. And if you look at the contracts, Neal, they're 1, they're 2, maybe 3-year at the most deals. These are sort of time and place, prove yourself deals. You mentioned Charles Harris came in, did what he needed to do, and proved it, and got re-upped for a couple years from that. There's no long-term commitment in this. Why it works out is because it plays into the salary cap. And then if you're not going to make an upgrade to a guy like a legitimate one, why are you bringing a new one in? Why don't you just go with the guy and use it as last year's first year? It's sort of a revamp for some of these guys, and you see what they got. There's a possibility for all these guys for improvement. The big one on there is Akuda, because anything's an improvement, right? So, but that's the truth. And in the back of your mind, you got a 3rd overall pick. That what if he does pan out? That's actually, you know what I'm saying? So I don't mind it at all because of where they're at. Now, you don't want to be the 3, after next year with some of the 1-year contract. Like Anzalone's here for another year to get that culture right and stuff like this, and to help, Barnes in the middle or whatever it is. To me, it's more about the locker room than it is about the wins and losses. So just like guys were getting kicked out of here in the Quinn Tricia era, or leaving, or didn't want to be here, guys want to be here. That tells you something, right? Guys are re-upping. So it's not more about the wins and losses and, yeah, they got burned, but so they can improve. They've shown that they'll put the work in. They've shown that these are coachable guys or whatever. If the talent's not there, now's when you find it. Now it's sort of put up or shut up for a lot of these guys, but there's no commitment by the team moving forward to not allow them to try to work it out. And on our YouTube chat thread, the only Charles McLean says the only signing I didn't like was Charles Harris. He's been in the league a couple of years, and last he balled out just to get paid, same as Romeo Okwara. He will not be the same once he got re-signed. And there is a lot of this, like covert fandom says, I'm not concerned because of Brad Holmes. But don't you save that for a few games in to see, like, yeah, you told me so or whatever like this? Or that's more of a speculation. You can't say that. How do you know that the money doesn't motivate him to be better like he was at the end of the year? Yeah. So I mean, like, that's just the speculation. Come back with that's what I thought. I thought the money would. You know, it's just that you don't know. There's a reason that they got the money. There's a reason that they're there. But it's not just giveaway, because where does it go to? Who's cutting the checks? Who's a lot, right? It's the regime. So you have to go to the guys in charge. And I see what they're planning to do. All right, you're in another shot. You're in a little bit more time. You know, we repealed your, well, if maybe being in Detroit was a death row sentence, but, you know, we repealed your death row and build something. So I think it's bigger as far as the culture goes. Hazardous Nature says, honestly, the contracts are starting to make sense for the Lions to take Willis at number 2. And it's been this whole, and that's where we got the brainchild of the 2023 clock, because it's visible. Like, you can see with these contracts that they've been signing with people, and that's where I can't beat them up, because I guess I'm burning both ends of that candle when I talk about the Lions, because I did openly say, well, there's a lot of the same guys from a 3-13-1 team. No matter how you dress this thing up, that defense looks very similar to a 3-13-1 team's defense, because it does, because it is. But with that being said, maybe they are doing a play, and this is what I wanted. That's the DMac clock is based on a 2-year placeholder with Jared Goff and the guys that they have, and you're just kind of punting. But you can't obviously say that, because I think that there's a segment of fans out there that think that they're going to win next year. No, what are they going to win? 6 games? No, that think they're going to go to the playoffs. Yeah, but remember the hype going into this year. How many people thought they were a 10-win team? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the reality check. No, guys, no. That's why that's there. And to Neal's point, that's why the bubble's there. So the reassessment, so it's the same guys, that's fine. The reassessment's after the end of next season. And you could be all right. We could be 3, 4, 5 games in and going, oh, this guy, we knew it, I knew it, you knew it, I knew it. But, unfortunately, you're not cutting the checks. Yeah. Gromit 0237, Pat Swilling got the money once, and you know the rest. I know that's going back. No, see, and I will die. But we know why that didn't work. I'll die on the hill about this one. You know why that one didn't work? Because Pat Swilling, who they just in New Orleans said, hey, go get the quarterback. We don't care about anything else. He comes here, and he's covering running backs out of the flat. That was the problem with the Pat Swilling. The Lions changed what he did. Like, he was great at what he did. One of the best to ever do it. They brought him here, and they're like, hey, we need you to cover this running back in the flat. And he's like looking around going, they just tell me to get the quarterback. Which one's the running back? Yeah, exactly. Like that was the Lions happening there on that one. So Pat Swilling, I'll never utter Pat Swilling slander ever, because when he was one of the best to ever do it and go getting the quarterback. Oh, absolutely. Not at covering running backs, he'd be the first one to tell you. No, but that's just me. And that's the one thing. So here punting, I don't like punting. I like the word like preparing. It's more of the recipe preparation, right? Of not going out and doing what most teams do, what we see around the league as guys throwing out contracts, trying to get a guy here, get a guy there. I know, seeing Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, guys on the blocks, that's intriguing. They're great players. We know that. I hope you get them in your fantasy team. But in the long play, right? What does this speak in the long play, right? That draft capital, salary cap, preparing. If you don't go out and spend now within the first 2 years or whatever, you got to be saving to spend like some of these other teams in the no salary cap league or what. It doesn't matter anyways. But when you do, it's going to make a lot of sense.
Crew Dog on our YouTube chat thread. Use Willis as bait for another team to trade. No way do you pick a running quarterback from Liberty at 2 if you're Detroit. Which I'll stop right there, Crew Dog. And I would back that up and say, okay, so you want to take a quarterback next year? I would contend there's no way you take a quarterback from Ohio State. Name me the one. Name me the one that's been good. Anybody? Anybody around town? Sam Flannel shaking his head. I hate that when you say, no way you can take a running quarterback from Liberty. What, as opposed to a quarterback from Ohio State? What's that going to do? He'll be a receiver in 3 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, Terrell Pryor had a couple of solid seasons at wideout.
See, there you go. That's my point. Like, again, we need to get past this fantasy draft, notions that we have, man, because it's not that, man. It's just not. But let me tell you what is it. And I was just there a couple hours ago, and that is Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out. I worked out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership starts at just $10 a month for access to your home club. They got a cool little black card thing going as well. $22.99 a month, less than $1 per day, everybody. You get access to over 2,000 locations worldwide, unlimited guest privileges. You can use all the amenities as well, the hydro massage, the massage chairs, the tanning. All that is at your fingertips for the Planet Fitness Black Card holders. You can join today in club. You're going to pass 2 of them on the way home. Just pull in the parking lot and join up there. Or if you're motivated, you can do it right now. Go to planetfitness.com from your cubicle. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's one open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. That'll get you in the door at your home club, and it won't be before long. You'll be stepping up to that black card option. Planet Fitness, where your fitness, DMac.
Your fitness is essential.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Neal Rule here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms, trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for all your limited tanning options. They sell the Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Swedish Beauty lotions on site as well. Chili Peppers Tanning, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. Find the one that's closest to you. There's over 26 of them and more on the way. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. Hey, yo, coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter in the building as well. Happy to have you all with us. Spencer has that DCFC scarf rolling on the City Wednesday. Big thanks to Antoine Hoppenot for rolling through here from Detroit City FC. He was a lot of fun. We'll be talking to him more as the season. It's a long season, goes all the way till October. Did want to wrap up this discussion, and we were talking about Lions, and it looks the same, but I think that it makes me feel good when initially I looked at it and said, man, they're signing a lot of the same guys from a defense that wasn't very good. I'm cool with it. I'm here for it. And I enjoy it because that's what I want to see, because there's got to be a reboot. And they are low-key, off the record, doing a financial reboot of this team. Everything's lined up. So after 2023, they can kind of financially bottom out and then get ready to rock. That's how I see it, DMac.
No, that's what it's all about. That's why we got the clock in it. And I think that, halfway here, and obviously the clock being on hold, the draft coming up and all this stuff, it's just, everything is just always a moving part, right? Always a moving part. But to see that, I see the semblance when you put it up there on screen, and I see the names and stuff like this. But it's sort of like I look at that, and nobody jumped out like, say like a Trey Flowers contract or a Haloti Vaitai on the offensive line. Which, by the way, there's a guy who I would say is Haloti Vaitai. From something thought it was going to be a waste, that he came in and he played
pretty well
last year, and he's an asset, I think, as a caveat to that offensive line, and I give props to that. So even that contract isn't as bad as you think it is. Everything's sort of playing out in the wash, and it's allowing the maneuverability in the future, not being committed, right? You're not committed long-term to really anybody but the guy you want to be in Ragnow, right, who's your center. So, I mean, they're setting themselves up to make these choices and decisions down the road. So, like I said, fork in the road. We find out if they're going some quarterback, whether it's be prepared for Willis at 2, or it's something else.
We gonna see. Crew Dog says, Neal, the Y works best in this draft with the 32nd pick. 5th-year option on Matt Corral or Sam Howell. Guys, it's not fantasy football. We're not talking about taking Matt Stafford in the 5th round of your fantasy draft, where it's a known entity. If you're going to take a quarterback, and see, this is something, everyone gets mad about the Randy Moss thing with the Lions, right? And I'm not mad in a vacuum because of the Randy Moss thing with the Lions. I'm mad because they pass on Randy Moss and then take Jermaine Crowell later in the draft when Randy Moss was right there for the taking. I equate that to this. Not saying that Malik Willis is going to be the Randy Moss equivalent to quarterbacks in the league. If you're going to take one, then take the one. And I think that's what the Lions will do. Again, if they deem him to be that, then you take him. It's not a fantasy football draft.
No.
There's not. Everyone's telling me there's no good quarterbacks. Neil, there's definitely not 4 good ones in, right?
What? You know what the great part is? Is that your GM, right, isn't treating it like a fantasy football draft, like maybe the GMs in the past here might have, right? So that's the whole thing. Trust in Holmes. Do you trust in Holmes to make that decision? And be prepared, because it might be, and it's leaning more to be, I think it's probably 60-40 right now.
Yeah.
60%. I'd say I'm 60% that they're going Willis.
Trey Finesse says, I'll take Bryce Young before I take an Ohio State quarterback. No, but I think that statement kind of reinforces my stance on that. And actually, because Sam Flannel's a very logical guy. He's a very reasonable guy. Does that make sense when I say it? Because everyone seems to be, the people that are anti-quarterback, what do they say? Then take one next year. Well, those are your 2 blue chips, right?
Yeah.
Those are your 2 blue chips.
Yeah, those 2. Young and CJ Stroud, yeah. I am not, the same way you're not comfortable taking a, quote, running quarterback from Liberty, I am not comfortable taking an Ohio State quarterback based on the same things. Does that mean that CJ Stroud, while the logic in me tells you CJ Stroud is totally independent of every other Ohio State quarterback that's ever played? He is, which he is. But that's what that logic sounds like to me. Am I crazy with this, Sam Flannel? Oh, no, you're not crazy at all, especially considering that's how I thought about Justin Fields, that he's the most talented quarterback Ohio State ever had. But when he goes to a franchise like the Bears, who have a terrible offense and have a coach who just lost his job after year 1, he's in a terrible situation. And that just might mean that another Ohio State quarterback fails in the NFL. I can't even think of one who's been good. I know we talked about it recently. You can't either. Nobody can.
Nobody can, because there aren't any.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Pistons fan 11, we got to stop acting like there will be only 2 good quarterbacks next year. That's what I was told. I was told there are none this year and there will be 2 next year. That's it. Those are the only 2 that are acceptable to be taken. Right?
Well, and again...
Joey 2 times, right? Isn't that what we were told?
Well, that's what you were told. That's what you're told all along. And the best thing about being told... right, when you have a guy in charge that can make the picks himself, again, is that maybe you were told the wrong thing. Sometimes people be lying to you, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe you got told the wrong thing. Did you ever think that? Somebody trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Sometimes you've been told a lie.
Charles McLean says, I think Holmes has seen what happened with Trey Lance, the can't-miss prospect last year. Jimmy G still with the Niners. Lance will be a backup again this year. That's why Holmes does not take Willis. Didn't they say Trey Lance is going to be the starter in San Francisco this year?
Yes.
Right. So my question is, right, so if Lions draft Malik Willis and say he's going to play behind Goff, next year he's going to be your starter, you got to be happy about that, no matter where you're at, because that's where the Lions have put their stock in, right, moving forward, sort of like this right along the San Fran plan. Do you compare Malik Willis and Trey Lance? Coming out of smaller schools,
lots of questions.
Raw talent.
I would say Malik has better arm strength. I think that's apparent.
Okay.
And you can't, to me, look, accuracy is ultimately important. But arm strength is very, 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 very important too. And there are people, and look, no one was a bigger Bailey Zappi slappy than me. No one.
Zappi.
But then when he got to the pro days and the workouts and the Senior Bowls and stuff like that, Malik Willis's deep passes hit a little different than Bailey Zappi's deep passes hit. For those of you that played the original Tecmo Bowl back in the day, Malik Willis had more of those Dan Marino passes, and Bailey Zappi had more of those Jack Trudeau with the Colts ones that went off the screen and hung in the air, and every single time Lawrence Taylor, if you were using him, could go all the way across the field, get in front of the receiver, and intercept it.
Well, he was good.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Jack Trudeau, not so much.
Yeah, so, it's one of those things. And I see some people talking about Josh Allen, and that is the comp, right, that people are talking about with Malik Willis. And what did people think? What did people think about Josh Allen?
Well, that's the whole thing. It was always couldn't hit it. Had arm strength, right? Developed accuracy. That's the one thing that he's developed. So if you're saying that a guy can't with huge arm strength can't develop accuracy, I say they haven't met Jordan Palmer yet. Who's the quarterback guru, so to speak. But it's interesting too, Neal, as we go around the league and stuff like this, as we're preparing for the draft and stuff like this. But as the stuff comes out where guys want to be traded, the apple cart, the big thing like in Green Bay with the did you ever think that with Rodgers signing that it would sort of implode the rest of the guys like that? And I say that because Zadarius Smith signed inside the division with the Vikings. Do you think there's something, sort of to the revenge factor in that or whatever else? Or, what do you think this means inside the division? Anything?
Nothing for the Lions. I mean, they're still not a fact. They're not ready to be there to win. I always get that,
though, is that, I sense a little bitterness, and I don't know if it was the only team that would take him or whatever, but the way that it sort of ended, now he gets a shot to go take out Aaron Rodgers. It'll be interesting theater to watch, right?
Yeah. Adam Schefter, by the way, some breaking news. Adam Schefter has tweeted out the Chiefs are trading 6-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins for 5 draft picks. A 2022 first-round pick, a 2022 second-round pick, a 2022 fourth-round pick, as well as 4th and 6th-round picks next year.
Get some! Get some!
Well, I mean, they're further along than we are. You know what I'm saying? This is what they're going for. So this is what I'm talking about in 2 or 3 years. If you're the Detroit Lions, that's a destination player. But you look at that, why it's so important to build that chest, right? To build that chest, because those guys don't come cheap. Right, those guys don't come cheap. 6-time Pro Bowlers and what he's going to do. Now the question is, obviously with Tua, they believe that this puts them closer to winning that division and being a playoff team. So they went for it.
They did. Man, that's a lot. That's a massive haul considering
but
he's in a walk year.
I get it, but again,
they must have a contract worked out already. They have to.
Well, yeah, I would.
They would have to, right?
Yeah. If there's not, then that's the biggest like whatever. But but no matter what, it shows you desperation that other organizations have, which means, do I trust Brad Holmes even sitting at number 2? So here's the thing, Neal. Here's the question. And maybe we take this coming back after break, right? But the question to be, right, is that if Malik Willis, right, is the setup of Brad Holmes and everything else, to the contracts, to whatever else, that Holmes holds that number 2 pick, because what are we seeing now? You're not seeing the levee breaking, but you're seeing desperation by other teams.
There is a lot of desperation.
So the closer we get to the draft, that number 2 pick with him holding it there. So my point would be, and I'll love your feedback on this, is that if they take Willis, then there's more sold on Willis than if they make a deal or whatever else. Like every option has been exhausted. So you should be confident that whatever they do, whatever they pick, is going to work. Just sort of like if you were going with Spencer over to Folling Warehouse with a couple dollars in your pocket.
Well, that's my question to Spencer is, do you go to Folling Warehouse for the mystery beer machine and stay for the Folling, or do you go to the Folling Warehouse for the Folling and stay for the mystery beer machine?
I think you go there for the Folling. You know, it is the Folling Warehouse. So
see, I'm not so sure.
No? Yeah, I mean, mystery beer machine, that's pretty nice. They got their perks, that's for sure. So the Folling Warehouse in Hamtramck, it's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Folling. You can host corporate events, family parties, holidays. We had our Christmas party there that I wasn't invited to, you know, but I got some Lions tickets out of it, so I was pretty happy with that. But there's multiple ways you can do it. Get some. You can do a $10 unlimited play, where you can stay the whole time they're open to close, throw your arm off, or you can do private lane reservation, where you pay $120 up to 10 people for 2 hours. And of course, they have over 100 beers to choose from, or as Neal mentioned, they have their $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, it pops you out a beer. No hassle, no decision making required, just good beer at a good price. And if you want to make a decision, they have multiple bars, fully stocked to the brim with everything you want. And so you can go check them out in person at Hamtramck, or you can go online at follingwarehouse.com. Again, that is follingwarehouse.com. This is Spencer from Big D Energy on Woodward Sports, and we will see you in a bit.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today, or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Mornings in Detroit just got bigger. Starting April 4th, Terry Foster joins the Morning Woodward Show. That's right, the Motor City icon is now going to be on Woodward Sports every morning. So make sure you're waking up 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. daily to hear the Detroit legend along with Adam right here on Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Spencer Raxter as well. We got Sam Flannel. And the NFL just hijacking sports shows across the nation. Right now, Tyreek Hill goes for a haul of draft picks. And there's two angles to this, I think, that are worth discussing for us. And they're not necessarily linked to Detroit or anything like that. But I was just talking while the commercial was going on with the guys in here. You can't plan a show. You can have all this list of stuff you want to get to. I want to talk about the Red Wings yesterday. It was a good win. I was ready to go full nuclear on DMac. But they flirted. They ran with the devil, but then they got the train back on the tracks and everything was okay. But this NFL, man, they just blow everything up every single day. And people used to say that the NBA... The NBA offseason was really where the NBA shined. The NFL, nobody can have anything nice as long as the NFL is around, man, because the NFL dominates the world. And we just need to accept it, DMac.
No, I think that and we do. And, coming in reported 4-year, 120, 70 million guaranteed. I like the comment is that, man, these receivers are getting quarterback money. Right? These receivers are getting quarterback money. So now it's turning into, how do we always say, right? The guy who gets the ball the most, right? The guy who protects the guy who gets the ball the most, and the guy who can put the guy who gets the ball the most on his back are the three top guys. Now it's proven, right? What does this prove even more so?
It's an offensive
You better
league.
be able to catch the ball in the backfield, because the running back is so more obsolete
than it ever has been.
Because why? Because the money tells you. Follow the money.
And I'll tell you what, too. Well, Davante Adams took down the Kansas City Chiefs because the market he set for a wide receiver priced Tyreek Hill right out of Kansas City.
And see, that's the trickle-down effect, Neal, right? With all these contracts and stuff like this for all these high guys who are on the contract market and stuff like this, that's a big blow, right, to Mahomes and Kansas City, and no matter what. So this is sort of like the new norm. So it wasn't Davante Adams. It was Aaron Rodgers. You know, what started all of this ball from, we just mentioned, Zadarius Smith, Davante Adams, right? It was Rodgers made the ball roll. They released the one guy who's going to probably make it his mission to put Aaron Rodgers on his back as many times as he can when he plays him, Minnesota versus Green Bay. That's must-see TV for that.
Yeah.
Then you just nailed it. Pricing everybody out. It's not the first guy, but it's sort of the top guys. And so to me, this is the Aaron Rodgers trickle-down effect. And it's not stopping. But the imperativeness of what you said, Neal, is setting the market. You know, good on Davante Adams, right? Good on the fact that something wasn't worked out. He took the franchise tag and whatever. Then KC, then Tyreek Hill wouldn't have been in this position.
Yep.
But where it just goes to show, I'm more concerned with, there's desperate teams out there. And I think, right, before it'd be, you'd stand on Allen Park and wave your hands and tell Bob Quinn, no, don't do it, bro. Please don't do it. Now, you don't need to go down there. They know it.
They know.
And that's the difference to be confident in.
Tyreek Hill has signed a 4-year, $120 million contract extension with $72.2 million of that guaranteed. So, boom. Man, 4 years, 120, so it's a $30 million a year for a receiver.
That is insane.
Wow. And we're going to circle back to this one, too. And I thought I had this put to bed, but here we are again. The Tua slander. The guy's won more games than he hasn't won. I know they haven't all been pretty. I know for whatever reason everyone wants to chop the guy down all the time. He's accurate. He wins more than he loses. Stop with the Tua slander.
I agree. And you know what? So Tua's a guy that had to prove people wrong. This just gives him a better asset to prove people wrong. And you know what? Like, that's the, you know, and to the, you know, the ownership, Stephen Ross or whatever, like that's not afraid to spend, not afraid to go out. Now, dude, like, is that the Hall of Halls or whatever else? No, it's a really big haul. Really big haul as far as players. So it'll be interesting to see what Kansas City, because Kansas City needed this. They need all those draft picks. They need to come back down to be able to salvage what they have in Kansas City with their base guys, right? So they need to make good on these picks too.
Boy, my people at Spotrac, dude, are right on it.
So do you say KC use that pick? So this year's Dolphins pick is at what?
I'd have to look at the. I'd have to look at the board.
Boom, right there.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the board.
Pretty much tells you that they're going top wide receiver on the board, right?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too, for everyone that's saying that's a lot of assets and capital to give away to have, you know, Teddy Bridgewater to come in to be your quarterback. Guys, you haven't been listening for the last 2 hours. Tua this year is $8.2 million. He ain't going anywhere. Between him and Jalen Waddle, you're spending $14.5 million a year, which is what made this Tyreek Hill thing possible. That's how they're loading it up, guys. They are. I know that's, what is that, calculus teacher tone? Is that the tone that you guys are referring to?
I mean, you always say a quarterback on a rookie deal, and that's the case. You can go out and get
Tyreek Hill. You can do what you want.
And another wide receiver on a rookie deal, Jalen Waddle. But I will say this. If you're Tyreek Hill, you went from playing with Patrick Mahomes, who is, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback talent of all time, to Tua Tagovailoa, who is a game manager. That's all he is. Even if he wins games, that's all he is.
He wins games, man. He wins more than he loses.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill's stats are going to go way down. He doesn't have Patrick Mahomes to throw him the ball anymore. Tyreek Hill ran a lot of great routes and got open, but who could throw the ball down the field to Tyreek Hill? Patrick Mahomes. Tua Tagovailoa cannot, and I still don't think he's any good, despite what you said.
Jalen Waddle seemed to get along all right, didn't he?
Yeah, but his yards per catch was like 10 or something. I don't quite have the stat in front of me, but he had like 100-something catches for less than 1,100 yards.
Hey, did he cost you in the fantasy playoffs or something like that?
No.
You sound like a Spurn fantasy football playoff manager.
No, I'm honestly just a Mahomes slappy, so that's where this is all coming from.
But how I see it is, Tua had all that talent in Alabama that helped him. He got the ball to those guys. He got it to Henry Ruggs. Yeah. He got it to Jerry Jeudy. He got the ball out to all of those guys, and so
seemed to work out okay there.
Henry Ruggs Tyreek Hill can run by anybody. So if Tua can put it up there, I think he'll be just fine.
He's very accurate too.
Yeah,
that's something I thought got
how
missed
does Josh
with Tua.
McDaniel fit in here?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's got to be a bet. It's got to be a positive.
Yeah, it's a good question. Let me tell you about the sports marketing agency. SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Check out woodwardsports.com and the Sports Marketing Agency podcast entitled This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl. If you are struggling with substance abuse or mental health or know someone that is, they are there to help. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, that's thesportsma.com and check out their podcast. This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brad Edwards here, wanting to welcome the Sports Marketing Agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the Sports Marketing Agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
I'm Cade, Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, a mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Final segment of the show here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter as well. Happy to have you all with us. What a whirlwind it was today, the NFL coming in and hijacking the show. Let's get another person qualified for the shot to go to New Orleans to see the college basketball finals. In our YouTube chat thread, we had our interview with Antoine Hoppenot of Detroit City FC. What college did he go to? Tell me in the YouTube chat thread. If you're not already qualified, we will get you qualified. And you will get your shot to win a trip to go to New Orleans to see the college basketball finals.
When he was in the room, he was the smartest guy in the room, and Neal didn't like it.
I did not like it. I was very, very uncomfortable. So what college did Antoine Hoppenot attend? Drop that in the YouTube chat thread, and we will get you qualified for your shot to win a trip to New Orleans to see the college basketball finals. Sam Flannel will get you the information and let you know everything that is going down with that. But yeah, I mean, there it is. Trey Finesse, first one in there with Princeton. So, Trey Finesse, Sam Flannel's got some instructions for you.
Yes, for Trey Finesse, congratulations, by the way. All you have to do is email ilovemarchmadness2022@gmail.com. I'll repeat, ilovemarchmadness2022@gmail.com, and then we'll go from there. I'll get you qualified.
there you go. So, and he'll reach out, give you the details and all that stuff as well. So, as we said, coming down the stretch, Tyreek Hill traded to the Miami Dolphins for just a gaggle, I guess you could say, of draft picks, highlighted by the first and second round pick in this year's draft. I believe it was a fourth in this year's draft as well. He also signed a massive contract extension with the Dolphins. 4 years, $120 million, $71 million of that is guaranteed. So, the market continues to grow, and that's the way it works, everybody. Once markets get set, agents go to the teams and say, well, this guy's getting X. My guy deserves X plus 2.
Yeah, comparables. And obviously right there, two of the best wide receivers in our game making moves and getting paid. Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. So who's next? Because as we get closer to the draft, teams will be more panicked.
Yep.
That's what you see. That's what the thing about right now, not only is, we know the NFL rules, but there are teams that are willing to make that. So to hold on to this and have this conversation, just, again, remember, be prepared. Doesn't mean anything. Just be prepared. It's like Doomsday Preppers. Another show Neal loves.
Doomsday Preppers. Yeah, so I guess we got to talk about it for a couple minutes anyway. I had the text to DMac all loaded and ready to roll. I was ready to go all nuclear on it because it was happening again. But they got the train back on the tracks just in the nick of time. The Red Wings get the win yesterday over the Flyers. And DMac, I wish I was watching with you. I know you were down there working it. By the way, great footage I saw in the broadcast of you in the Shinny game.
At was I dangling?
Yeah, you look good, man.
Did
you
I?
look good.
Still sort of had it, just
Well, I didn't say you still had it. I said you looked like you had it.
Never
That's different.
had it. Just there's a great picture too of when I get it, because I was hanging out with the goalie and I was playing out there with Todd Bertuzzi, and he picked up the puck at center ice for like a breakaway, and I took off at him, and usually like he's gonna see me and make the move around me, I'm just gonna like boo or whatever. He never saw me, so then it was like he didn't see me, and I knew he didn't see me. And it's one of these things that I know how to finish you off, and like, you know what I'm saying, open ice hit. Now I'm trying to get out of the way. So the best thing to do is when you don't do anything, let him last minute yell or whatever, get his attention. And there's a picture that Dave Regnick, the photographer, got of that when I get it, it's probably going to be my favorite photo. I never had it. I told Bert it took me 30 years. I finally got a clean shot on him. But It was fun. It was fun being down there. Thanks to everybody who came out to enjoy the Shinny game. And Ally Frady was out there with us too. But we had a blast, skated before the game and then hung out for the game and watched, be able to talk. So shout out to everybody, to some of the firefighters in Detroit and some of the sheriff's department, down to the electricians, to the musicians, to everything else. Everybody had a great time, but was happy to be able to do it. And man, from ice level, I tell you, LCA's big. It's like the difference between standing on Little Caesars rink and Joe Louis is it seems like there's an extra section up top.
Yeah.
But that's what happens, Neal, when they don't forget to put in the press box.
Which is true. Can confirm. Covered a couple of games from Joe Louis. Can confirm about that. Speaking of that, Friday, you don't want to miss the show. DMac and I will do kind of a deep dive. I don't want you to give away any of the secrets or anything like that, but I'm going to interview you about it. And we're going to talk about that during the whole segment of the show. So get your questions. We'll take your questions
why
too.
You want to tune in, and not only because of Neal and I's relationship and stuff like this, but I know as far as Neal always looks to ask the questions that haven't been asked or whatever. So we don't prep for any of this. It's sort of like we like to do it on the fly, but you're gonna have this will be more of a conversation that happens behind the curtain between me and my close friends or family, like the things that we can sort of answer. So
here's a taste. Here's just a quick taste. When you're on the plane going home from Colorado after it went down, after the hit went down, the level of discussion about it, I would assume there probably were not a lot of words said about it, or maybe there were.
No, because you really can't do anything. right?
Yeah.
But it was more of understanding the gravity of the situation. And I think the first thing I had to get over before the injury was the fact that we just set the league record at 62 wins. And our season was over. And I think it was a shock of, oh my God, we may never get back to the finals. We may never win. So I think it was getting through that.
What a cocktail you guys had to drink on that flight home, man. Whoa.
You know, and then so, yeah.
But
we'll get into it.
Anybody ever ask you that question before?
No.
That's but you have to be in that life to understand.
Absolutely.
To ask that question.
Where it all starts and stuff like this. And I know the one thing because I wasn't. 96. I was drinking. So that made it a lot easier to play right home.
Right.
I forgot,
but yeah.
But it wasn't.
But those are the types of questions, you know, I really want the nuts and bolts of it. I feel as though that they've never been asked. I've never heard answers
and
to it.
It'll be interesting because as you see, I got to go back there.
I know.
Right? So
your face changed
so that'll
there, too.
prep me to go back there. And honestly, there's a lot of – see, here's the thing as an addict and just as somebody else is that, man, I can compartmentalize and I can block things out. But then it takes something special because only certain people can get you back to where that is. That's why I take pride in doing the Slapstick Comedy Tour, being able to tell the stories like the March 26th and whatever from my vantage point because there's only my perspective. So
yeah, but that's going to go down Friday. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that because I got a hold. We'll take your questions as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll do that probably the second hour of the show on Friday, so make sure you tap in for that. So for DMac, for Sam Flannel, and for Spencer Raxter, my name is Neal Rule. Thanks, everybody, for tapping into Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Deuces.
Well, see you later.